Hey everyone, Dr. Frunkey here with an exciting new knife consult for you. In front of us is a full custom Graham Razel. Now, I have been a big fan of John Graham's work for some time. He's a very well-known custom knife maker, and he's really well known for this particular knife, the Razel. It's a very unique blade shape where it has a sharpened tip or front edge like that can be used as a scraping tool. And so this is a very unique knife, and a lot of folks know about it, and a lot of folks want to get these knives. He will often make his knives available on Instagram, and he sells them at the shows. This one was made for Blade Show 2016, and it's a fairly unique knife. I have not seen any others that are fitted like this. You can see this on his Instagram. If you scroll back a couple of years, it is on there. It's a really, really special knife, and I'm really happy to have it in my hands by way of Blade Junkie. Those folks just had a really awesome sale a couple of weeks ago called the Collectors Appreciation Week sale, and they slashed their prices on a whole bunch of really desirable custom knives. And my good buddy Nico over at Today's Grail Tomorrow's Beater picked this one up, and he sent it through me. I'm really lucky to get to work with this guy. He sends me a whole bunch of these awesome knives, so big thanks to him. Go ahead and follow him on Instagram. So let's talk about this knife anatomically so we know what we're working with here. Up front, we have a 3.5-inch blade of CPM 3V steel. 3V steel is a very unique steel. It has excellent edge retention, and it can attain high hardness. It's a very, very nice blade steel, a very good tool steel. Now, it's not fully stainless, as can be evidenced. I took a look in here. If we look here, there's a little bit of rust that's formed on the inside there. It gives the knife a little bit of character right there. It's not really that big of a deal on the inside right there, but it does need to be cared for carefully. This is done obviously in the Razel grind here. It's got a bit of a belly at the tip there. Sometimes the Razels are totally straight. It's got an awesome sharpened front tip. We mentioned that earlier. Just look at that grind, the line coming down there. Very, very beautiful work. He does great work. The top of the spine has been crowned a little bit, and then it's done with this awesome, deep, stone-washed acid etch look, and it just is a beautiful user finish. And then the flats are done in a nice hand satin. Super nice. Moving back, this guy does run on ball bearings. You can see the ball bearing washers in there, so it is extremely smooth. It is a flipper deployment only. And this has one of the greatest detents that I've ever felt on a knife. It will open every time if you do it just right. Now, sometimes some people have trouble deploying this, but usually this will just open up on your first try every single time. The detent is super nice. Now, when it closes, it's not really a drop shut kind of blade, and that's for two reasons. The blade itself is very light because it's not particularly thick, and there's a lot of material that's been ground away for these deep hollow grinds on there. So it is very smooth, but you do have to push it closed. It's not a free faller. The pivot is rather simple. It's just a nice screw there, just a nice user finish again. It's got a stop pin up here, a shouldered stop pin that works perfectly. As the blade comes back, this is a neat little detail, as the blade comes back, the flipper tab actually hides that totally. It's pretty neat, and so it almost becomes an internal stop pin right there. I like that design. It's nice. It's very deep in the way that goes in there. Back to the handle here, we've got about close to 4 inches of handle if you measure it from here to here. One little point about the blade, I said it was 3.5 inches. It's 3.5 inches from the pivot to the tip. From here, it's 3 inches. From here, it's 2.5 inches of cutting edge. So 2.5 inches of cutting edge with a nice forward finger choil, and then a 4-inch handle here. So you're looking at about a 7-inch overall length right there. The 4-inch handle has a very unique material here on the front. This is Hen'stooth G10. I don't really know what that means. Hen's teeth aren't a real thing. And then there's this. So I'm not sure what I think about this material. I'm not a huge G10 fan. G10 is just a fancy plastic to me. Plastic does not have the same kind of feel and solidity as metal. So I'm not a huge fan of it. I like carbon fiber. I like titanium. I even like steel. It's fine. But this is a unique pattern right here. Now, it gives it a little bit of color, but, you know, it looks like the inside of an elevator. I handed this to someone, and they said this looks like I'm inside an elevator at Dillard's. And so it's a very strange material. I'm not really a huge fan of it, but, you know, perhaps he could make another scale for you if you really wanted. On the back is a lovely piece of titanium that has been just treated really, really nicely. It's been, I don't even know how to describe this, just orange peeled deeply and then tumbled and then stained or, you know, acid washed. I'm not even sure. It's a very nice user finish. It's not going to show anywhere. It's got a nice little amount of texture to it. The lock bar is very easy to use. There's no steel insert and there's no over travel stop, so you do need to be careful. It is a thin piece of titanium, but folks who are buying this knife know how to handle them, and they're not going to overbend it. So that's really, really nice. Moving back, we've got a little integrated lanyard hold made out of the same Hen'stooth G10. And then we have the Graham pocket clip, which is very, very cool in theory. Now, it's very awesome when you first put this in the pocket to see how that rides so deeply. I've never had a knife ride that deeply and that secretively. I don't even know how to describe it. This clip is so, so, so tiny. And when it's in the pocket, it tucks itself. So if you can imagine, you put it in and then it tucks itself like that. And so it's hidden and you can't even really feel it. So when you go to grab the knife, it's so deep in the pocket. Let me see if I can demonstrate it here on this piece of cloth. So let's put that on there. Yep. Here we go. Good. So it tucks itself so deeply, so it's in the pocket. And when you go to reach for it, you pinch the pocket at the same time. It's hard to grab this. It's hard to pull this out and take it out like this. But then it sticks to the pocket really tightly when you grab it by that. So it's a bit difficult to actually pull out of the pocket. So that's a bit interesting for me. Not sure if what the verdict is on that for me in terms of overall carry. I've really only carried it around the house a couple of times. This is a nice, valuable custom knife, so I'm not going to use it or abuse it too much. It slices just fine. It's from a custom maker. It's got a great edge on it, of course. But this is really for understanding the masterpiece that is a John Graham knife. So all of this amazing functionality, all of these hand-done personal touches, and again, this is hand-done, in a very user-friendly size and package. I'm going to bring the scale out here. This is going to blow your minds here. So this is a very lightweight knife. 2.7 ounces. That is extremely, extremely light. I actually have a very lightweight knife out here to compare here. This is 1.8 ounces, the Benchmade Bug Out. So while I have a couple of knives here for comparison, we can just show these different sizes here. We'll pull out the Benchmade Bug Out, so if you're familiar with that. How about a Chris Reeves knife, small Sebenza? So overall, a fairly small knife. It's a very user-friendly package. So speaking of small knives, here's a VDK Ferro. Very, very small knife right there. I've got my 0392 BRN GLD. Also a very nice knife right there. How about we bring out a ZT0055. So much bigger knife right there. So you can see that this is a very EDC-friendly size knife. And that's really amazing. For some custom makers, they like to go for the big and the bold, but John Graham gets it. He makes a very user-friendly knife, and it's just really, really well done. I am so impressed. I definitely want to get my hands on one of his pieces. You know, while I'm not the biggest fan of this material, that's really not important. This is a custom knife. This is a unique piece made with that, and it displays it beautifully. And any of his other knives will have also some unique and awesome material. So one day I might be able to pick one of his knives up. So thankful to get this in hand. Thanks to Nico for sending this one through me. Super awesome collection you're amassing, man. And I'd love to see more content from your Instagram. And shoot, I'll push you to do a YouTube channel yourself. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. Click like and subscribe to my channel. Head over to Instagram and check me out at Dr. Frunkey. Check him out at today'sgrail_tomorrow's_beater. Check out John Graham and his work. And as always, guys, this is Dr. Frunkey saying, take care.